Hi, it's Bernard Nomberg. We're back for another Tuesday Talk on the Law, and I got my buddy Alan Lasseter here to talk about a very important topic, police misconduct. And it's not really an area of the law that many folks are really aware of about really how it works. But Alan is an expert in this field, and we're going to let him talk with us a few minutes about that. Good morning, Alan. I appreciate you being on with me this morning.
Thanks, Bernard. Good to be here.
Alan, tell us a little bit about your background and your firm and who you are.
Okay. I work at Shuttlesworth Lasseter law firm here in Birmingham with Perry Shuttlesworth. I'm from Birmingham, been here since high school. Graduated from Pleasant Grove High School out in the western part of the county. Stayed here, went to college at Sanford and met my wife there, and my wife Elizabeth and I are here. We've raised our three boys here, and so basically been practicing law here, been here in Birmingham all this time.
Very good, very good. Well, your office is currently located in downtown Birmingham.
Yep, sure is.
But I know you well enough to know that your practice is not just limited to Birmingham. It's all over the state pretty much.
That's true.
For the right case.
Right.
And the area that I want to talk about with you for a few minutes are police misconduct cases. And we all know that the folks who are in law enforcement, they put their lives on the line every day. They put on their uniform and go out to protect and serve the public, and we certainly appreciate all that they do. But there are those occasions where things get sideways and folks can be harmed by police when they don't do what they're supposed to do in their line of work. Explain just a little bit to folks watching this. What does it mean by either a 1983 action or a police misconduct case? What does that mean?
Okay. 1983 refers to a federal statute, 42 U.S.C. 1983, which gives individuals the right to file civil suits against public officials. And, police officers work for their cities, or deputies work for their counties, or the state troopers. All of these folks are public officials. And in order to file suit against them for what we call police misconduct, typically involves a constitutional right that's been violated. That's a civil rights case, and you can typically only bring that under Section 1983 of the Code.
Okay, and those are federal cases.
Yes,
that's
federal.
not something that you bring in state court, like in county court.
That's right.
Okay, and a lot of times, in today's society, everyone videotapes everything. Everybody thinks that they have a case. Everyone thinks that, well, the police did me wrong, so I've got a suit and I'm going to take it to court. And we all know that the reality of that is that 99 times out of 100, the police are doing what they're supposed to. They're protecting the public from harm. But there are those occasions when things get a little out of control. And tell us a little bit of some real world experiences and cases that you've dealt with, so folks know what kind of cases we're really talking about.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. With technology, video has really changed sort of the landscape of these type of cases, because for many, many years, it was just the police officer's word against the person who complained of wrongdoing.
Sure.
And in the several years that I've been doing this work, I've realized that there oftentimes is truth to what people are saying that some of these police officers have done, and sometimes these guys go way over the line. And so, what you're looking for in that type of case is, for instance, I've had several cases, here in Alabama where you've got, you have your shooting cases, and those are more involved. You don't always get things on video, though. And even with the body cams that police officers wear a lot now, a lot of times they still don't either have them turned on, or they're pointed in the wrong direction and you can't see anything.
Sure.
So you're still trying to piece it together. And, a good case, I guess the most typical cases I see are excessive force cases, where someone says, I was being arrested or cited for what I did wrong, and I was cooperating, and the officer got angry and hit me or threw me to the ground and caused me injuries. I had a case here within the last year. I've had several of these excessive force cases against different police municipalities or sheriff's deputies. One that I had last year was a guy was actually running from the police. He had warrants on him. He got pulled over, and then he took off because he did not want to get
Sure.
picked up. He was trying to do something else, and the officer chased him, and they went through the county on some back roads, and it was a long and involved chase. And this particular guy, he was young, he was in his early 20s. I was on his cell phone talking to his dad, said, I'm trying to surrender, but I don't want to surrender unless I'm in a public area because I'm not sure what's going to happen. And ultimately, he gets near a public area, and this was a deputy, and one of the deputies came around and blocked him, and they skidded to a halt there in the middle of the road. And the deputy that was behind him also came to a stop behind my client's car. His video was on. You see my client get out of the car, put his hands over his head, lace his fingers together, got down on his knees, and then laid down on the ground. And I don't think you can be any more compliant than that.
Sure.
And this officer came over and got down on him, and as he was handcuffing him, he gratuitously punched him right in the face, and it shattered his face. It shattered his right orbital fracture and caused some serious injuries. And this officer did not know that this had been videoed. So in his initial statements, he said the guy tripped and fell trying to run away, and 2 other deputies also misstated the truth and did that. And so that's the type of case
Sure.
I get involved in, and thanks for the video, we can prove this didn't happen as my guy ran away. It happened the way he said it did.
And I know those cases are pretty few and far between, but they happen. But speaking of video, and I'm sure everybody saw this weekend, this young woman at the University of Miami football game.
Yeah.
You saw this video. Describe what you saw and whether you think that was an excessive force
Yeah,
kind of a case.
What you see in that video is, a woman at the Miami Hurricanes football game, and officers have apparently been called to the scene. She was very intoxicated. She would not cooperate with their attempts to get her to leave. So they picked her up,
Right.
and there's 3 big guys, and they have her up, and they're just kind of walking her up the stairs, and she's slapping at one of the officers and hits him in the face, and as quick as a cat, he slaps her back. He punches her right in the face,
Right.
and it was a good blow.
Yeah.
And it looks like it was a lot, but it's the kind of thing that you have. That's what the law allows. She was resisting him. She was striking him. He gets to protect himself. And if he wants to hit her that hard, I guess that's his choice. But that's
Sure.
not a violation of her rights.
Sure.
Because he has to protect himself.
Sure. The optics of the video that were
Yeah.
posted on social media may look like it's excessive force, but we weren't there.
Oh, he slugged her.
And he did. And it looked like he knocked her out, but
Yeah.
but we don't know all the facts there. But I guess that's the kind of cases that you look at. You have to determine if there's any credibility from the potential client, if there's a case to pursue. I'm sorry that we've gotten this late in the video. I meant to ask you to please share how can folks get in touch with you if they feel they have this kind of a case to talk to you about.
Sure. My name's Alan Lasseter. My phone number is 322-1411. That's area code 205 in Birmingham. I'm at Shuttlesworth Lasseter. If you want to just Google Shuttlesworth Lasseter or Alan Lasseter, it's easy to find my firm name, or civil rights attorney. There's not a lot of lawyers that do this.
Sure.
And so my name usually comes up on those sort of searches.
And if folks who are out of state or out of the Birmingham metro area find this and want to get in touch with you, are these also the type of cases you can review or at least talk to them about?
Absolutely. I mean, I do practice across the state of Alabama, and I have taken cases outside of the state before. But if I can't help, I will find someone in another state who can. I know lawyers in other states that do this work.
Alan, talk to us briefly about if a person does have this type of a case to pursue and you file a lawsuit, what type of damages could they potentially seek?
Well, it's like a personal injury case, usually. There are different cases. I mean, there are false arrest cases and false imprisonment cases where no one is actually physically injured.
Sure.
But typically you're looking at, in a force case, there are injuries, and it's just like it would be in any other case. You get pain and suffering. You get compensatory damages for any medical bills or any pharmaceutical bills or anything related to your treatment for recovery, things of that nature. But you pain and suffering, mental anguish, and then your cost of medicals are usually what we look to.
Okay, so it is very similar to a regular tort case and state court case. Talk to us, tell folks who think they may have a case and they eventually want to meet with you or another attorney about this type of a matter, what types of pieces of evidence or documentation that they should be gathering to get organized before they meet with you?
Yeah, that's a good question, because again, without a video, this is a swearing match.
Sure.
Most often. And so if people come to see me and they say there were other people there who saw what happened, well, then I need to know who those people are so I can get in touch with them. Because the more independent witness testimony you get, the stronger your case.
Sure.
If anyone has taken a video, I have a lot of people say, yeah, they had their cell phones out. Well, I need to see that cell phone. So if you can bring that kind of information to me on the front end, it helps me make a decision, about our chance of success, or whether anything was done that was beyond, the bounds of what an officer ought to be able to do.
Okay. Well, that's all great pieces of advice, Alan. Thank you. And what type of, in closing, from a time limitation or statute limitations, what time period do folks have if they want to make a claim?
Well, to file your lawsuit, you have 2 years in Alabama under the
2 years from when?
From the date of the incident.
Okay.
If it's an injury case, if it's a false imprisonment case, and you're prosecuted for something that you didn't do, you have 2 years from the date those charges were dropped or your case was won.
Okay.
But you also have to keep in mind, if it's against a city police officer, you may have some state law claims against the city or that officer, and you have to file a notice of claim within the first 6 months of the incident, and with the county within the first year. So those are sort of the different time limitations we look at, but a lawsuit can be filed up to 2 years later.
I guess the bottom line is just don't sit on if you think you have a claim, just don't sit on it. Get to an attorney and have it evaluated when you can.
Particularly if you have criminal charges that are associated with the arrest, the outcome of that case is often important as to whether you can proceed with your civil case.
Sure. Well, Alan, I really appreciate you coming in or letting me come to your office and us talking about this today.
Glad to be here.
One more time, let's get the phone number out there.
Okay, 205-322-1411. It's Alan Lasseter, or it's Shuttlesworth Lasseter here in Birmingham.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you all for spending a few minutes with us. We hope that this has been another informative talk on the law on Tuesdays. Again, I'm Bernard Nomberg with Nomberg Law Firm. You can find David and me in downtown Birmingham at 205-930-6900. Our website is nomberglaw.com, and of course we're on Twitter and Facebook. And we'll catch you again next week. Have a good day.